What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Hustling Sideways podcast. I'm Alan Halas. I'm a music writer.
And I'm Jim Love, and I'm a keynote and motivational speaker.
And this is the Hustling Sideways podcast, where we talk about people's side projects, their businesses, their passion projects, all sorts of things. And today we've got a really great guest. But before we get into that, Jim and I are also going through it right now in Milwaukee. I'm sure a lot of people are experiencing this too, with some of the flooding that's happening. Personally, neither one of us got hit too bad, but we're hoping that everybody out there is enjoying or is making the most of the situation, and
Mhm.
everybody's safe and sound. So, Jim, you're actually going to go help bail somebody out after this. You're too nice of a
Yes,
guy.
there were 3 feet of standing water in some friend's basement, but it was wild. There were pictures from people leaving State Fair, and water was up to the hood. And people still showed up to the Brewers game, though, despite all of that. And they ended
Yeah,
up getting their 9th win in a row. So shout out to Milwaukee. But yeah, hope everyone's doing okay. I know it's made international news, so it's pretty wild. And we are here to help move stuff out of your basement if you need it. So you holler at some fellows here, and we're here to help. But yeah, it's the forecast is thankfully looking a little bit clearer now with the sun out and hopefully some dried up water. So we should be good. But we are
yeah.
here, ready to rock, and excited to have a great conversation today.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Also, I didn't know that we were offering up our basement cleaning
Oh, that was
services.
yes, we are. You didn't know that until right now, but
Okay.
that is the
I'll
thing.
I'll make
Yep,
some time on the calendar. That'll be
that's
good.
great.
That'll be a new
Yeah.
dimension of the podcast.
Yeah. No, now it's just a we thing. Like we're a bundle package, so if I go do something, you have to join, and vice versa. And that goes for
Okay,
all of my
I'll
co-workers.
make some time. I'll make some time.
Yep,
I'll make
that's
that
great.
work.
That's great.
But
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
meantime, we are gonna talk to an amazing guest today that we have. It's somebody that I've known for a long time, and she is the founder of Carvd N Stone, which is a media outlet dedicated to positive news. She spent some time in Milwaukee, but she is currently residing in Atlanta. It's Nyesha Stone. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
Yay, thank you, thank you. I'm actually in Georgia, always trying to make like correct people because you know how people be like, I'm from Milwaukee, and they really be like from somewhere completely different. So I never want to be one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I doing good. I really want to stay go on to what y'all said before we get in the interview. Like, I appreciate y'all for like making the time to even acknowledge what's going on right now. Like, I think that's very important. And I love that y'all doing it as media people because even though we're gonna have a great interview, I think that's so important to actually let's be human beings and focus on people are probably suffering right now. So, although I'm not there, I am like, working to figure out like how can I help out? And usually do
Mhm.
that through like our coverage and stuff like that. So I appreciate y'all for just even
Mhm.
acknowledging that. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
100%.
Um, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
No, no, you're good.
Oh,
Carry on.
okay.
You're good.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
Naisha and I go way back to her days in Milwaukee. I will never forget. So I was working on breaking and entering and building my website for a long time, and then this website called Carvd N Stone started popping up. Started seeing a lot of things on social media about it, so naturally I had to go ahead and follow and check that out, and learn a little bit more about what you're doing. But I don't know if we've ever really gone in depth too much about your background, so let's maybe start there. Tell us a little bit about where you were born and raised, and kind of your first, I guess, exposure to news, really.
Yeah. So from the north side of Milwaukee, my birthday is coming up, so on the 30th, go Virgos. Um, But yeah, born and raised in Milwaukee, I went to this middle school called Central City Cyber School, and it was a charter school, and we had to wear uniforms. And I just remember like how early we like learned computers, and I didn't realize like how much that would help me in the future.
Hmm.
But yeah, really like I'm just a normal kid. I went outside, I played. My sister, she's what 7 years younger than me. She missed out on neighborhood like friends. Like I
Okay.
that sucks for her. You know what I mean? That like really sucks. But like one of my first experiences with news, I think it's like many of us, like you just hear it on the TV and it's just like, what the hell are they even talking about? It's just like gun, 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 shooting, shooting. Somebody died, someone's going to jail, and here's the
Yeah.
weather. The cat is being born. And so that's what I personally think like one of my first experiences with news was. It wasn't until I actually got to college where I actually learned like it was just informing the community and that
Mhm.
what we were choosing to inform the community on, we didn't have to, or there was a way to like do it. So really I didn't have like this like, oh, I wanted to be a journalist or nothing like that and look up to nobody. I just like writing and I wanted to go to college and I was like, oh, journalism is a major. And that's kind of how like the whole thing just kind of started. So I always say now looking back is like that was definitely God because I'm like I would have never a journalist like who I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about none of that. I don't know, but I was thinking about being outside, not writing.
Right. So you kind of drifted into it. But then were you always somebody, were you ever like the kid that was like entrepreneurial? Did you ever have like the lemonade stand or anything like that? Were you like, we've talked to people about this. I recently I've started asking this to more people and just like, I know that there were kids at my school that would sell like the bracelets that they would make off the like
Yeah.
the little craft sets and things like that. Was that ever like a thing for you?
Thanks for asking that. Yes, I actually, and people still make fun of me about this, but I don't care. I used to sell, my granny taught me how to bake, and so she's really good at like making cookies and stuff. So I learned how to like make
Mm.
cookies from scratch a long time ago. And so I would sell four cookies for $1 at King. Um,
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. I
yeah,
would buy that.
Yeah,
and it
wait,
was
wait. Can I
good. Like the
retroactively
reviews we
buy some?
saw.
Yeah.
And what's funny is years later, I actually paid a few bands. Like when we were doing like some music shows through Carvd N Stone, I had a full band at one of the shows. I paid them with two full pans of cookies, chocolate chip cookies. Because apparently they're that good, but they're whatever. So yes, I never like got to really talk about that. But yeah, selling cookies. And then also I used to throw house parties. So if you open up my
Okay.
yearbook, there see like the house party. So my 17th birthday, I asked my granny because I was living with her. I was like, "Can I use the backyard?" Because it was really big to like throw my birthday party. Like over 100 people showed up, and I was very surprised. So I don't think I even charged anybody at that party. I'm not for sure. Not for sure. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But
Yeah.
after that, I had through three other house parties, and I charged people. And I remember one night I made like $300 to $400, and I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
and I would literally how my granny house was set up. We didn't have the biggest house, but you could go in through the garage, go in the kitchen, go straight to the basement. So I would
Wow.
lock up the rest of the house and have them just go straight to the basement. And then it was like this weird like toilet down there because for some reason all of our basements has fucking toilets. I know it's like an article out there. But we had like this janky ass like toilet down there, but my granny built a door around it, like a room around the toilet, so you could actually go in there. And it was like this creepy. Like we had a bar down there, and I would change the light bulbs. So yeah, so selling cookies and throwing house parties, and so I guess that makes sense why like I love like
Yeah.
throwing events in which I give them.
That fit. Well, so were these like wild house parties or like what was the
Uh,
vibe of like,
The lights were changed, Jim. Of course they were
I,
wild
I mean,
house
I just like
parties.
that's awesome. Like that. Yeah.
I'll say one thing. I'll say one thing.
Yeah.
I remember, oh my God, and this made me so mad. So I was the only party I was approved for was my birthday party. All the rest of them I was sneaking when she was working third shift.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
Okay.
but yes, because I heard things afterwards. But I remember this one girl, she came and somehow she got her butt all the way up to my room. So
Oh.
that means she left the basement, went through the living room into my room, and like was just passed on in my room. I'm livid. I'm like, how the hell did you even get like how did so now
Yeah.
I'm like she's super drunk, and so now I go through her phone and call her dad and tell her dad to come pick her up.
Oh,
And
Good for
man.
you.
so now I wait outside with her, and she ends up I don't know if I was there or not, but she ends up throwing up on the front porch. It's cold in Wisconsin, so it freezes the fuck over, and I get in trouble
Oh,
that day because the throw up is on.
oh man. That's
Oh
all
my
it
God.
takes. One person throwing up in the
But I
cold
got caught
and
every
everything's
time,
done.
no matter
Yeah.
how hard I tried. I got caught every time, every
But
time.
they let
Man.
you keep the money, right?
Oh, they never knew it. They never knew it. My granny never knew about the money.
Perfect.
Wow.
So there you go. It's worth being grounded or whatever for,
That's
a
right.
couple days. You
That's
made the money
brilliant.
off of it. That is an original side hustle. That's great. I love
Yeah.
that.
You knew you were going to be
Um,
on a podcast later on in life talking about that. That's where
I
that all
actually
came
didn't. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was like now, because I just started opening myself up to actually allowing people to interview me because
Yeah.
I just have this thing where I'm very open. So I'm really good at, media training and stuff like that. But I like to be honest, and not everyone is good at getting someone to open up. Some people just ask the dumbest fucking questions. So I'm very strategic on who I say yes to. But I was like, Alan, I mess with you. Like I can I mess with you. So I was like, I love the work that you do. So I never thought I'd get to tell that story, and it's great that I did.
yeah, now we know, and now hopefully your grandma's not listening, or she never found out that we're not breaking that news to her here, you know?
I mean, I've like as the years go on, I'd be like, Granny, did you know this? She was like, can you just stop telling me stuff?
You don't tell me. Yeah.
Love
Oh, that's
that.
great.
So okay, so it sounds like college is where you really found journalism properly, even though I'm sure, like you said, you love to write, probably were already writing at that point. Um, when did the idea, I guess, kind of pop into your head that, like, for me, it was not till really like the tail end of college, but that was like that blog era of discovering music. So for you, I want to know kind of what your influence was to like saying, hey, I could start my own thing.
You know what's interesting? Like every time I get that question, I try to get better at answering it because it's so complicated. So I try to make it simple, and usually I do too simple. But really, I really was just pissed off, like at the media landscape in Milwaukee because, like, I was like, all right, I learned what journalism is, and then I learned I'm fucking really good at it. Like, I could get anybody to answer my questions. So
Hmm.
I got my first paid article with the Journal Sentinel. So I'm like writing for these like publications and all that. And they shout out to them. They were like really cool. But it was like the more and more I cover stuff and I'm at these local events, it were these other journalists. And I'm like, why did you specifically focus on that angle? Why did you do that? Like we're here, like I just and that frustrated me so much. And so that year, our current president had got first elected. And so my professor took us around the country and we got to interview people like why they went from flipping from Democrat to Republican. And I
Mhm.
always share this story because it I was interviewing white people and I was like, I got my Afro, we're in 100% rural areas. Like, are they gonna be racist? And I just discovered that like these people wanted the same thing as me. And but based on how the news was saying it, it was like these people just voted for them, so they're like the worst people in the world. And I'm not saying we shouldn't hold them accountable because you know what I mean. But on the flip side, though, it's like we really like to hear them say like we really do want better
Mhm.
healthcare. I would have voted like literally everyone I interviewed. They was like I would have voted for Michelle Obama. Like, and so like to hear that, that side wasn't covered. So for me, I was like, if I can get these type of people, or I thought these were a certain type of people, if I could like was able to learn something and then now inform the community, that's what journalism is. And if that
Hmm.
means putting in some data that shows sometimes negative stuff or whatever, but overall I'm informing you about a certain topic. And so I thought that was cool. And so I took that with me and I ran with it. And so as I was like freelancing, I realized everybody didn't have that vision. It was just like what clicks more, what is going
Yep.
to like, get people riled up, what's going to get the people in the comments going back and forth, hating on one another, and they never even seen one another. And it just kind of really frustrated me. So I was just like, well, I'm gonna just I know like the creative scene was really like starting to boom right then. Like I think like that was like maybe it was before then, but right then I was like, I see something, I feel something. And I was like, well, I want to interview people. I don't know what this looks like. So I just reached out to two people and I believe like October of 2016. And I reached out to this artist and she invited me to her apartment. I held on to that story until January 21st, 2017, which is our year anniversary. Um,
Hmm.
and I just did it because I was just pissed off at people. I'm like, y'all saying all this bad stuff is going on, and
Mhm.
specifically about people who look like me. But look at this person who's doing all this stuff for her art. And so from there, we started covering more music people. But then I didn't want to be a music blog, which is why I stopped covering the music scene for a very long time because that's what people associated us with for a long time. But it was just because Milwaukee's music scene was so popping. That was one
Right.
of the highlights of the city. But now I found a way to highlight all these different beats. But I really just did it because I was really fucking pissed off, and I'm still pissed
Mhm.
off that we get so excited when a news company covers something positive for one day, but then all the rest of the days there's just bullshit. But we
Yeah.
go, thank you so much for covering this one day, and I just be like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying what they're not covering isn't important, but there's a way to cover it. There's such a way to cover it. Like, why are you in the having your reporter stand in the flood water? We know what a flood looks like.
Right.
Why are you putting them in danger? Why are
Yeah.
y'all like? I don't
Yeah,
understand.
immediately makes it feel like tense. You know what I mean? Just by the sense of being like, look, we're on the scene, we're in the middle of, like a dangerous situation. But to go with what you're saying too, like, okay, so I vividly remember having a media studies class at Marquette, and like it was a thing to write down. It was a note to write down was that there's been a mantra in newsrooms that if it bleeds, it leads. And so that
I
basically
haven't heard that
means,
forever,
I mean,
Lord.
that sounds a little
Woo!
harsh, but like
Yes.
there are
True.
so many media outlets that were going with that route at the time, and still there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of media companies out there that do that. That the thing that is, you know, the shocking graphic thing, that's your lead story because that's going to be the thing that gets the most eyeballs, or now in this age, the most clicks, you
Hmm.
know, which ultimately serves advertiser impressions. But like, how it's about how you go about it too that makes such a difference. So, and I think to your point too about having like you know, to being pissed off, that's also just something that motivates you though, is
Hmm.
to say there's a better way to do this, and I know that that exists, and I know that there's an outlet for it and that people can find that too. So I think that's, you know, being able to harness that is something that's amazing for you.
Oh, thank you. Because
Yeah.
you know, a lot of therapy, you know, a lot of you know, like self-healing. Because I was really angry as a kid, and covering positive news, I've said it a couple of times, but it's like it's for me too as well because I'm a real like analytical person. I see things for what it is, like, and I've had to like be like, you have to be hopeful, and you have to like, we know things are going bad, but okay, like, what can we do to like maybe make it one footstep better?
Yeah.
I know we can't save the world. I know that, but damn, is there something I can do? Like,
Hmm.
so that's just kind of like
Yeah.
what I want to do, like through the company is like, yes, we know all of this bad stuff is going on. But on the flip side though, like, is it bad to have a good day sometimes?
Right. That's a
Yeah.
great way to look at it.
So that leads to you starting this, right? Like I think the emotions are awesome because like you should be mad. Like yeah, like let's something has to give, something needs to be better. So how do you go from that to making a business centered on these stories that could be a little bit better and could make a day a little bit better, right? Like just like those baby steps, if you will.
Honestly, I now looking back on it, I didn't even know I was preparing myself for a business. But the first two
Hmm.
years, like there was like I think 2018 we got an LLC, but like the first 2 years there was no business model. We really weren't bringing in money. But what helped with the business was brought people to actually give us money, but not necessarily for to cover news. I started immediately giving away like scholarships. So I had started a scholarship again out of anger, like people haven't got them. There's no one supporting the creative scene.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know, something was just like you can raise money. I've never fucking raised money before. And that was like something like I was an intern for the Milwaukee Press Club, and I told them I took their sponsorship sheet and just changed it like with stuff that made sense for Carvd N Stone. And I literally just found a check from the Bucks because I keep all of my stuff. I'm really like organized. $250 check from the Milwaukee Bucks, 2019, and
Okay.
for a talent show. And I
Yeah.
was like, damn, you've came a long way.
Yeah.
Man, you came a long way. And so it started with me just giving and giving. It's my cat. Go away.
Yeah.
Like giving and giving and giving of like, all right, I know I don't have no, and at the same time, by the way, struggling whole time, like staying at home. And even when I did move out, barely being able to make it. But I'm like, there's a need in this city, and my news is doing it, but we also need to like give out money. And so I was like literally figuring out how to raise money and still had no business model. So it was like, as much as I'm giving out money, we're literally not bringing shit in.
Hmm.
Right.
So I'm
I
freelancing.
remember when you were doing this. I remember when you had the scholarships. I remember thinking at the time too, like, how is she pulling this off?
I'm not.
Because
I wasn't. It
yeah.
was literally like I was doing it out of kindness of my heart, but every year I was fucking struggling, I always will open up the application September. My birthday is August 30th. I will always be stressed the fuck out around my birthday for 4 years straight. And we gave
Hmm.
away, I think that scholarship gave away like $20,000 or something like that. I was broke. And I was like, because I felt like you was gifted with something is just telling you to do it, but it was just like, all right, let's back this up. What are you trying to do? You're trying to do positive news. You have to find a different way to engage with your community, and it's not this way because for one, a lot of people weren't even appreciating it. And so like that was disheartening. Some people thought we were lying that we were giving them money, and I'm like, you know how hard I'm fucking working to get this.
Yeah,
Like
I was say you have account statements. You literally have receipts that will tell you that you are that you were giving away that money to people. So,
I real life, and that's actually why I'm like very organized because people will try you so hard. But to your point of like, how did I actually make it a business? My cousin, 2 years in, so 2017 to 2019, I was literally just going and interviewing people, and that was
Hmm.
it, and writing articles while I was freelancing for local newspapers, and that was like a whole nother beast within itself. Really not getting paid to really what I knew I should get paid. And so not making no money from my business. Only time we making money is for them to give me money so I can give it to this scholarship.
Yeah.
So 2019, my older cousin was like, I see you got something. Because by that time we were getting traction. People were noticing us. But my older cousin who lives here, who lives in Georgia, he was like, there's an accelerator program. And I'm like, what the is that? Like, I don't know what that is. Like I started Carvd Stone when I was like 20, so I think I'm like 21 at the time, 22. Oh, okay. And he was like, but you could possibly get some money from this. So all for me was like, finally, they're gonna give me some money. So I applied for
Hmm.
this program, did not get in because they was like they needed a pitch deck. It's a pitch deck. Like, what are these terms? Like, it's making me so mad. So I end up actually meeting with the person of the program, and he spent a few weeks teaching me things I didn't know, like what is a pitch
Mhm.
deck? How do you talk about your numbers? And then he let me into the program. Me entering that program in 2019 was how I created my business model, which is a lot of stuff of what we offer now. I created a whole like PR marketing department where we were literally helping other people get publicity through
Mhm.
other companies, but my goal was always to specifically get paid just to cover positive news. So we haven't even actually got any PR money this year. It all been now from ad
Wow.
sponsors, sponsorship, partnerships, grants, and getting strategic with the things I've always had in our 10-year plan. So when 2019 is when I created that 10-year plan, like we're going to get
Mhm.
paid for advertising, we're going to get paid for partnerships, we're going to do events, but I tried to do it all at once. So at that, we were doing scholarships, we were doing events, we were doing this, we were doing that. So in the last 2 years, I cut it all down. Now
Yeah.
making the most money I've ever made, which is like, how is this even possible?
Mhm.
But trying to figure out, okay, but how do you keep the cash flow up? How do you keep these like because like I know what it's like to be dead fucking broke, and people do not know. And I mean like I'm getting an award and then my account is overdrawn. Like,
Right.
we're so proud of you. Well, give me some fucking money.
Mhm.
29 from 2019 till I'll say about 2023 was like one of the biggest struggles for me because I was really trying to figure out how do you bring in sustainable income. And all I could the immediate money was through the PR and stuff because everybody needs that. But I'm like, how do we get access to the ads for y'all to see what
Mhm.
we're doing so we can get the partnerships? And now, finally, 8 years, almost 9 years later, people are starting to pay attention. People are now reaching out to us to like, how do we figure out a partnership? What does this look like? And now it's like, even though we're not making a hell of a lot of money, it just feels good to know I can eat. My rent is paid. I don't
Yep.
have to like, okay, I'm waiting on this next check. I'm waiting on this next check. Like people don't ever talk about that. Like that is like mentally draining. But on the other end, I'm showing up and giving away this $3,000 check. And I was a few months late on it because honestly, I fucked up, had to, figure it out, get the money back. One of the scholarship winners was like, I don't even want the money. I already wrote out this check for you and I sent it to him and they didn't even show up. So I had to mail it to him. That's how disrespectful like
Wow.
I've
That's
been. And I'm
wild.
like,
I'm
you
gonna
Yeah.
back up just a sec here though and like speak to something that I think you and I both experienced though, which is like when you run your own thing, you are not only the editorial side, you are the sales side. You know what I mean? Like you also have to figure out where does this money come from? What does it look like? And so even though you and I both went to school for journalism and Jim went to school for communications, like as soon as we start our own thing, now you have to learn how to be marketing. Now you have to learn how to be accounting. Now you have to learn how to be all of the other departments because it's kind of just you versus everyone, right? Like that, and so that I mean, the fact that you're doing what you're doing and continually sustaining it means that you have at least gotten enough of those different departments figured out that you're able to keep it up and running, right?
Yeah, right now I'm focusing on just streamlining it. So I noticed like our sponsor articles doing great. So shout out to Amazon. Like I can't I still I don't even say that to Brad, but I really just be like, how the fuck? What the like you look back and you like you can see a vision, right? I swear, like the last like 3 months, like, and I kind of want to cry, but I'm not. I'm not. But it's just like, man, y'all really don't know how much like the struggle has been just for me to cover positive news. You would think it would be the easiest thing in the world. So many people
Mhm.
have stolen my content, stolen my ideas, have literally not paid me, have like all of this stuff, and it's just like now to be like, you can take a breath and be like, all right, this is actually working. Let's
Mhm.
focus more on this. Like finally getting out of the business to look at the business is a whole different level. And I'm like, I try to remind myself, it's okay, like you are where you need to be. But in a city like Milwaukee, I never see anybody as competition, which is why I always cover other media companies because
Yeah.
Right.
that's very important for me.
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes they put us against one another, and I don't
Mhm.
like that. And so I want to make sure like now that like just be open about like financial things and like how we get stuff, and because it was a struggle and it is still a struggle. Like I said, I'm not making no millions. I'm not even making like I wish I was even anywhere near close to that. But it's like we have to be honest to be like, no, it really has been a struggle, like with all of this. But now it's like, all right, now I can finally see that our sponsor articles work. I know how to pitch to advertisers, and now I was just in a program that was specifically that mixed media publishers with ad buyers. It taught you
Right.
the tech that you need for your thing. It provided you some grant money. It provided you the people, and then it also provided you a way to pitch to the ad buyers.
Yeah. Puts
So
all those
like,
pieces together finally.
Yeah.
but
You
it's
know,
my job to share that information. Like that's the Bomisi Accelerator. Like we have to do a better job of being like, this is what I did, those, and that's why I love like what you're doing with this podcast. It's like, okay, but all right, you went from this to that, but how the hell did you actually do it? People always
right.
like do this big talking, but it's like no, like it's grinding. Me borrowing money from my granny, she's paid my rent once or twice before. I've had to borrow money from, friends and family and stuff like that. Like you can't like lie. I think like some people just try to front, like I've always been like this.
Hmm.
No, there have been times where I've been dead fucking broke, but then swear to God, I bounce back maybe a month later and now I'm good for 3 months. And sometimes that's how entrepreneurship work. But what do you do in between those times? How do you keep your mental
Hmm.
strong? And so like you'll never know if I'm broke or not because it doesn't matter to me because I know what I'm doing it for my passion. So I know it's like a long-winded, my bad.
That's great though. I'm curious. So in 2020, like John Krasinski came out with that like some good news segment. I don't know if you remember this, but I'm like I like if did that have any like because when I was thinking of good news, that's the first thing that came to my mind. It was like in the throes of COVID, and
Oh
John
yeah, didn't he do
Krasinski
like
he did like a
wasn't it on
whole
Instagram,
yeah, it's
right?
like
Where he would
like a
just do it.
YouTube weekly series about some good news and showing off like the good stuff. Like, I know people. I mean, I'm sure that's probably stuff that maybe you like covered or thought about. Like, do you remember that, or did that have any impact on any part of your business and trying to build it? It went like mega viral. So I'm just like curious
I
if that
don't I
popped
don't
up.
have any data that backs it up that it impacted
Sure.
us at all. But what I would say to that is that keep it coming. Like we need more positive
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
So, but I
Hmm.
think a lot of people started just for the moment. Like I really did it. Like I did it before even COVID. I did it
You did it
before.
before it
So
was
like
cool.
I didn't even
Yeah.
know. Like and
Yeah.
so, but now what's funny is like people are like local news are trying to cover it. Like and they see like this stuff. So like, but to your point is just more people do it. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
the only one doing it. I mean, y'all gonna have to catch up, but I don't want to be the only one doing it. But because we really do need to counteract what's going on right now. Like we need to get back
Yeah.
to when news is news. What happened to exposing the people that really needed to be exposed, and then
Yeah.
providing the resources that really needed to be. So I don't know if it necessarily like helped the business or not, but I
Hmm.
will say that we've been able to, it maybe if they would have kept going, maybe we have a little competition, but I really truly don't see anyone as competition because there's so much room. Like you have New York Times, you have
Yeah.
CNN, you have here and there, and even in Milwaukee, you have all of these media companies and they're all making their own different revenues. So I think that's one thing that's kept me in business is that like I never focus on, I look at other people, I'm like, oh, I like that template. I love how they're doing that. But I never look at somebody like, we have to get more than this. We have to do more than
For
that.
sure.
Because
Yep.
I really
Yep.
feel like what we're doing is different and what you're doing is different. And that's just what it is. Like there's enough
Yep.
money for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's a need for what you're doing too in the sense
Hmm.
now where like I think post COVID we've all been so siloed in the sense that like people still go out, people still interact with each other, but even in the terms of like what we consume media wise too, like you also can get fed only the news that you subscribe to, right? Like you can get fed only the perspectives that you subscribe to. And so there are definitely a lot of people, myself included, that just want to focus on the positives. I don't want to turn on the TV and be mad every day or be bummed
Hmm.
out every day. And like I think what you're doing is definitely an outlet for those people that just want to smile for like 20 seconds and then like can go on with their day, you know what I mean? Like so with that in mind, like kind of what is the plan in the near future for, you know, keeping people smiling, keeping people thinking about the good things?
Um, I don't get technical. Really what I've been learning through the program is just looking at what does our audience really, really like the most and finding a way to include that in everything that we've been doing. And I've been finding a way to do that. look up the Blockbuster content strategy. And I didn't make this up. This was a workshop I had, and he learned it from someone else. But it's 10% of your content drives 90% of your revenue. And so y'all use Chat GPT?
Yes.
Sure,
Yeah, I will admit it. I will say,
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
you gotta learn how to use it.
Yeah.
you gotta
So
learn how to use it. That's the
you gotta
important
learn how
part.
to
You gotta
use it
learn
for
how to
you.
use it for you and like organizational stuff mostly.
So you asked me like how I'm gonna keep people smiling. So I'm gonna give y'all what y'all want. And based off the data. So he was like, take the top content off your site and create keywords. And so I went on the back end of our site and got 10 of the top articles from 2025, copied the headlines, put them in Chat GPT, and was like, create 10 keywords. So now based on these 10 keywords, at least 2 to 3 have to be mentioned in every headline.
That's
Okay.
Now doing that, it makes me pop up in your timeline even more. And it's been so interesting. I've been really like trying to figure out like, cause we got stuck at like, our followers just got stagnant like for like 2 years. And what I noticed is because we got away from local news and focused too much on national celebrities. So all this to say is give the people what they want. They want to hear about everyday people. They want to see their people doing well. And so by me learning how to be a better business owner is me looking at my data, just like how Google can be like, we talking about something, they can send you something right away. That's what I'm kind of doing on the back end right now. And so like really learning the data so I can make sure that I'm actually giving y'all what y'all need. Because there have been times we cover stuff and it's like no one's engaging with it because it's like that's just not what my audience wants. So continuing to provide the stuff that people care about. Black business owners, small business owners, people, free resources, because a lot of communities I cover need things. And so it's like, who is your audience and what do you want to do to impact them? And so providing those resources, providing that education. Oh, you want your son to learn more? Here's a free after school reading program. So really just getting better at how we make sure that we cover stuff and that we're covering the stuff that matters most to the communities that we're covering. Because we can say what matters to us, but I think that's what makes a bad journalist. Because we always we're going to tell you what the story is, but we wouldn't have a story if it wasn't for the community. So I'm trying to get even better at making sure the community is first when we choose what stories we do or do not cover.
Awesome. That's great. I feel like it's simple and it's effective. Like if the people want it, then put it out there, and that's it. It's up to them. I appreciate that. There's no bias behind that. You just do it of what they want, and they're going to have an impact by it. So that's excellent.
Yeah, and it's smart too. Like it's not catering, it's not pandering to somebody, but it's catering to what they're interested in, right? Like you're not distorting the facts. You're just talking about something that they want to actually read, which is awesome. Well, thank you for taking some time to, do this. I know that it's not an easy thing to, run your own media thing. I don't want to say company, like your own outlet is not easy to run at all. So if people want to connect with Carvd N Stone, they want to get, a little bit more involved with what you're doing or follow you, or maybe just want to read some good news. Where's the best place to go do that at?
Yeah, everything's hosted on our website. So, the 3 W's, because I always say too many, .carvdnstone.com. So it's like CARV as in Victor and then D as in dog, and then a letter N, stone, carvdnstone.com. And then everything can be reached from there. We have articles, video interviews, podcasts, which will come out next year, season 3. So full on media company, but really like just support media. Like, yes, I need to support Alan, you need to support, Jim, you need to support. Like we really we have to support real media. And take that for whatever you want to take it for.
I love it.
Awesome.
Love it. Well, thank you so much again for doing this. And then also, we are the Hustling Sideways podcast. So you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on all of the social media as well: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of those places as well. If you want to be a guest on the show, send us an email. It's hustlingsideways@gmail.com. And Jim,
keep on hustling.
We will see you next week.
Peace.